Hey. Slow. Yeah.
Nazareth, in the old city of Nazareth. We actually go into a part of the old city of Nazareth. Is the place where Jesus was conceived inside Europe. Yeah.
Lime base, then you're going to have your topsoil on top of it. What happens when the water soaks in the ground, when it hits the lime turns to like a concrete and it stops the water from going in.
That's why Joseph would have went back to Bethlehem, where his family was originally from. Now, olive trees are fascinating trees. I don't know if y'all enjoy eating the olives here, but they are absolutely delicious. And one thing interesting about an olive tree that I did not know, but an olive, you'll see green olives, you'll see black olives, and you see purple olives. All those grow on the same tree. It's the stages of ripeness.
Okay, so welcome to the olive press. The word olive press is the Hebrew word gat shemanim, and it comprises two different systems. You've got first the crushing stage, and then over here you've got the pressing stage. And so what we're going to do when we harvest the olives, we're going to bring it over here and place it inside this stone basin. There's still more coming. I thought we had everybody. Every time I start talking, there's just keep coming. So you'll bring the olives in, place it inside this basin. You're going to take a small stone like this. It's called a millstone. This is what Jesus spoke about, tying it around somebody's neck, casting them into the depth of the sea for offending a little one. It's this teeny tiny stone here that weighs a half a ton. And so you're going to take this donkey and you'll turn this around, and this will crush the olives. And it's going to crush every aspect of the olive. This type of system will. And what it's going to get is this. This is not mud. This is olives. This is olive mash. So it's going to get this olive mash. And you're going to take this olive mash, when you get enough of it, you're going to have these woven baskets, handmade baskets. You're going to stuff it filled with the olive mash. Now, depending on the size of your press, you're going to take about 10 or 12 of these filled with the olive mash, and you're going to bring it over here to the olive press. And so you'll see an example on both sides, but if y'all want to gather over here so you can see this process. And once you get over here, watch your step towards the back. It does step down. But once you get over here, if you'll notice towards the back, you'll see where those olive baskets are. Underneath those baskets is a vat. This vat is about 1/2 meter deep, and this is where the olive oil will go inside. Now, an olive contains 1/3 oil, 1/3 water, and the other third is the mash. Olive oil being lighter than water will float to the top. Scoop it off. Squeeze on in, let everybody get in. Still just one out there.
Squeeze in. Squeeze there also. That's a good idea.
Tearing down the carpenter shop. You can give Joseph something to do later, right?
Yeah.
All right, so welcome to the carpenter shop. This is Joseph, of course, our carpenter. Now, if you'll notice the carpenter shop, we've got a roof on one side, the other side does not. This protects the carpenter from the weather, whether it's raining or if it's hot outside, gives him shade, but it also gives him light to be able to see the work. Now, notice the carpenter here, he does work with wood as well as with stone. The word for carpenter in the New Testament comes from the Greek word tekton, and it literally means a builder, and it's like a stonemason. Well, again, we have a lot of stone, we don't have a lot of wood, but a carpenter would do everything. I'm a carpenter in America. I do roofs, but I'm not a roofer. I do floors, but I'm just not a floor guy. I do everything because I'm a carpenter. And that's what a carpenter does. He does all kind of things. And that's what Joseph does. He does whatever's needed to be fixed. Joseph fixes it. Now, if you'll notice some of the tools that Joseph uses here, some of the similar to what we use today.
Chisels.
Different chisels. It's got two different basalt stones. These are volcanic stone. One is used for sanding. The other is used for sharpening tools with. There's a plane for planing wood. I still got some that look almost identical to that today. This is called an adze. It's used as a shaping tool. And it's got another use. You can flip it over and use it as a hammer. He's got his saw. And then my favorite. Anybody know what this is?
A drill.
It's a drill. It's a 1st century DeWalt drill. A lot of work involved in the carpenter shop. Looks easy. It ain't that easy. A lot of work involved. And the battery only dies when you do it. Joseph, thank you.
Thank you.
By the wayside. Again, the wayside pathway is the pathway that you're walking on. That pathway, you can imagine the sower as he's going through his field could easily drop some seed, and it's not going to bear fruit because this is where everybody walks. But then he made the statement, and some seed fell on stony ground. Now the stony ground is not like loose rock like I used to imagine. It's this hard bedrock. I remember a couple of years ago we had some of the topsoil during the rainy season washed down here, and some wheat, some seeds from wheat got right over here and started growing. It grew up to about that tall.
Beautiful. But then when the rainy season ended, I watched it slowly every single day withering away. And that reminds me of that parable where Jesus said some seed fell on stony ground and it had not much earth. And when the sun came up, it scorched it and it withered away. But then he said some grew among thorns, and the thorns grew up and choked it out. We used to have thorns, but our Simon is so good at keeping the thorns out. I ain't got no examples of thorns anymore. But he said that thorns choked it. But then he said another fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 30-fold, some 60-fold, some 100-fold. That's that good terrace land. You say, why is it 30 and 60 and 100-fold? It depends on the quality of soil that they put in it. You can just get some topsoil down here, or you can go way down deep in the valley and get it and bring it up. Depends on how much work you do. Now, Jesus is not teaching us a lesson on being a good farmer, because the seed, he tells us, is the Word of God. And the soil is not the ground you're standing on, but it's your heart. And it's how you receive the seed that's been sown by the sower. That's why it's so very important that we take heed from what we hear from the Word of God. If you want to follow me, we'll continue up the hill. Good. That's good. So what do you got here, Simon?
Yeah, I'll tell you when they will come.
We've got a few goats in here too. So found that. No,
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
As Mr. Jones said, I'm Simon, the farmer of the village, and I am 2,000 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, lots of olive oil. Well, as you see on this terrace, we have planted here a winter vegetable, which need lots of water and cold weather. For example, here we have kind of wheat for salad. We have lettuce, cabbages, we have garlic. This is kind of wheat for salad also. There we have onion and radish. In the way, you're going to see more and more vegetables, but much bigger. Don't touch it. Now, in February, usually here, we prune all the trees. Why? Why in February? Because in March, start flowering. That's why we prune before start flowering. If we prune when it's flowering, most of the flowers will fall down, and then we will not have any fruit. That's why we do it when the tree is still sleeping. We pruned more than 95 trees, olive trees. That means we didn't leave any high branch at all. Why? Because high branch usually make lots of shade on the other side of the tree, and that's not good for the olive tree. Olive tree will have so much sun. And also we know that less branches will have much more bigger olives. Much more bigger olives, which means much more oil.
Interesting.
And also for our safety, we don't need to climb on the tree for the higher branches. That's why we save all those problems when we prune the tree. Also we prune the fig tree up there. You can see the high branches there. This is fig tree. And here from the right side, we have the apple tree flowering, as you see. And beside it, we have the pomegranate. And here we have the vine tree on the terrace, on the trellises. Now, the vine trees, we leave just a very, very small branch. This small branch have 3 or 4 eyes. Those eyes gonna be later on the branches. It will be very tall branches, that means 4 or 5 meters. And these branches give a new branches also. Those new branches will give us the grapes. In mid of April, you're going to see all those trellises are covered by branches and leaves. It's very beautiful when you sit down in the shade, all of it shade, sit down and watching all the grapes falling down. Beautiful. This trellises we have here, red grapes, and all the others here we have green grapes. Any questions? Have a lovely time.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Now I will say the olive oil, we sell it in our gift store. That's where
Oh,
it gets
okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Simon.
Bye-bye.
Why press? Why? No. Oh. I see it. Oh, I see it. The drink. Hold on.
John, what's the rationale of having the heap of burnt, bushes around the...
I'm sorry, say again?
What's the rationale of having the burnt ashes and those bushes
talking
just
about down there?
yeah.
That we're just trying to clean off some.
Oh, there's some
There's nothing
meaning in
significant or
behind
biblical
it.
about it. No, we just had to get rid of it. Okay.
My answer would be so the cock smell won't come out.
Just to aggravate me with the ashes. Okay, so here I am standing in a first century wine press. So again, this farmland, in order to make this farmland, it took an enormous amount of work. You're literally going to cut this mountainside. You're going to chisel out this bedrock. The stones that you remove from this area is what you're going to use for your houses, your buildings, and so forth. We use some wood, but we use a lot of stone. That's what we grow here. We grow a lot of rocks. It's like rocks everywhere, you'll see. But it's a lot of work cutting this out. Again, you're building these rock walls, as we explained it earlier, bringing all that topsoil up. But here you can see where this has been chiseled out. And so these stones have been removed. They've made a wine press here. And what will happen during the summer months when we harvest the grapes, you would bring the grapes and place them right here inside this wine press. You're going to take off your shoes to step on the grapes. Now, does anybody know why you take your shoes off?
Hygiene.
Oh, you know it. You got it. Yeah, oh, great. Now, I love hearing people's answers sometimes. It's hilarious. But she got it exactly right. You take your shoes off because your shoes have a hardness to the bottom. And when you step on those grapes, you can break the grapes and break the seed. You ever ate a grape and broke the seed, you get a bitter taste. And that's what you would produce from the grape juice. So you take your shoes off because God has put a natural cushion on the bottom of your feet. So when you step on the grapes, hopefully you don't break the seed as well, you just break the grapes. So the grape juice as well as the pulp, everything will flow down through this channel that's been cut out inside the wine vat. And it's there in the wine vat that is going to be collected and put into jars or wine skins for about 40 days. And it all depends on the process of what you want. It's an extensive process depending on what you're trying to get from it. And so it's inside this wine vat is where we found those broken pieces of pottery sherds that archaeologists dated to the 1st century. So understand, we're only 500 meters away from the center of biblical Nazareth. This is 1st century farmland. It could have been very well that Jesus could have come through here, could have maybe even worked here and stepped on grapes here in this area. We don't know, but there's certainly a possibility in doing so. But now as we continue up the hill, I want to remind you of another parable Jesus gave. Because in Matthew chapter 13, he says, "Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And as he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside." Understand that you may own one of these terraces. You may own two. There could be several families that own these terraces going up this mountainside. You're going to have a pathway that leads up this mountainside to allow you to get to your property and your neighbor to get to their property, or either people just passing through. You don't want them to step in your garden. Well, that wayside pathway that Jesus was speaking about is the ancient pathway that we're getting ready to travel now. So if you want to get a couple of pictures, go ahead. Do not fall in the vat, please. I've not lost anybody in there yet. I don't want to do it today. Don't fall in the vat. This is Hannah, our weaver. So during the summer months, we're going to take some of our 1st century shears and we're going to go out and shear the sheep. Once you collect the wool, you're going to take it over to a wash basin and you're going to wash it, getting it clean. And then you're going to bring it over here to this area and you're going to card the material. You're going to pull it through this area. What you're trying to do is get anything that's stuck inside the wool out. You're going to break it apart. You're trying to break the material apart, getting it to a working piece. Now, you may want to keep just the natural colors of the sheep. If you do, you'll just leave it just as it is. Now, you may want to put some color to your life. So you may take some walnut shell. You could take some boiling water, place the material and the shell inside the water, and the color will transfer over. And you can do that with anything. I mean, you could take onion skin.
Purple one.
You can take pomegranates and do pomegranates.
Oh, nice.
I mean, the list goes on and on. You can even take saffron, like spices, and do it as well. But now, what about those colors we read about in the Bible that are so very expensive? That blue and purple. Do you know where you get those from? You have to go to the ocean. You get a sea snail. You can only extract one drop from the sea snail. It takes 2,000 just to make one garment.
Wow, okay.
Very costly. We read about Lydia being a worker of purple. Very, very costly material. And so again, just depends on the color. You can do it with all kind of different things. But now once you get your material ready, you're going to bring it over to your spindle. And here Hannah will take her spindle, and she's going to take the previous material that she's used, and she's going to take a piece of the new material. She's going to attach the two together and then start the spinning process. And the two now become one. Very strong. If you remember in the book of Proverbs in chapter 31, it talks about the virtuous woman, how she putteth her hand to the spindle. Hannah's our virtuous woman here at Nazareth Village. But now if you'll notice, the material is not ready to use at this point in the stage, because it's going to be very, very kind of tangles up. Watch how she does this. See this? See how it tangles up? So what she's going to do is she's going to place it in a ball, and she's going to allow it to sit for about 2 weeks. This allows the material to relax. As the material gets relaxed, now it's ready to move to the next phase. So here she's going to bring it over here to her loom. She's going to take what they refer to as a shuttle in one hand. She's going to lift up every other piece of material, and she's going to feed that shuttle through. And she's going to do this all the way across. She's going to take a comb in her other hand, and she's going to tighten it up. And she's going to continue this step all the way across the material until she's done. Now when she's done, she'll have something similar to this, like a shawl, or she'll make different clothing, different items. This process doesn't take real long, but the rest of it is what takes so long. A lot of work involved in doing it. Any extra materials? She makes first century Barbie dolls.
Nice.
So Hannah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jordan. They both raised a woman adult son from the dead. Okay, a widow's son. Okay, they both feed large numbers with a small quantity of food. So Elijah during famine was feeding 100 people, and then Jesus fed 5,000 people. Okay, and there are other parallelisms. So Jesus, in a way, is the greater Elijah that will come, he will perform even more miracles. Okay? So as you look at the Mount of Precipice, seeing the compassion and the miracles of Elijah, see the compassion of Jesus as well. Okay? If there's something dead in your life that requires raising, Jesus will come to you. If you're in a famine and you need provision, Jesus will come to you. If there's other needs in your life, right? If there's anything that's dead, Jesus will be there to resurrect it. Okay? And the final thing is this. Over here, the people were the crowd was trying to push Jesus off the cliff. Here, if this is the Mount of Precipice, they're trying to push Jesus off the cliff. Okay? What did the Bible say? Jesus walked in the midst of them. Okay? There's no power, there's no weapon formed against you that will prosper. And every evil thing that's come against you, right, you have power against those evil things. If there's things in your workplace that you're going through a difficult time, your colleagues and your bosses are trying to corner you, are trying to push you out of the company, know that there's no power over you. Okay, if it's not your time to die or not a time to be retrenched, there's no power over you, so do not fear. Okay, as Christ is, so are you. You have the same power that Jesus has. Amen? Okay, awesome. Time for more speaking.